let's get down to business. Hello everybody on the YouTubes. Let's get down to business. Hello world. I am here to talk to you about the big picture of yoga, as always. Welcome to Goddess Yoga. This is just my channel. I go by the nickname Goddess Shakti. It's my play name. You don't have to take it seriously. I find it really interesting. People get triggered by the fact that I use this name. It's really kind of just for fun, and people take it very, very seriously though. And it's interesting how seriously we take ourselves, because we are multifaceted beings. We are capable of so much, and we often forget our power. And the whole purpose of yoga is for us to be free from suffering. And on the way from freeing ourselves from suffering, we align ourselves with the divine power of creative source energy. And when we align with the divine power of creative source energy, we gain wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And that also, of course, comes with the serenity and the peace and the strength to be able to handle the adversity, basically, in this world, because we have challenges. We always are going to have challenges, and we're always going to have things that make us uncomfortable. So, we have our chakra system. Let's just start with that in regard to yoga. So, and our chakra system is connected through the nadis, which is the 3 central channels. So on the right, we have the Pingala channel, which is the hot masculine side, the solar side, the sun side. On the left, we have the Ida channel, the feminine, the cool side. So that is the moon side. So we've got moon and we've got sun. And then in the middle channel, we have Shushumna. This is Shushumna Nadi. So the central channel is the union of the masculine and feminine. And it is where all wisdom and knowledge is channeled through. It is where your ultimate realization, once you reach supreme self-realization, you see into Shushumna Nadi. Hello and welcome, Cloud Cuddled. So I would like to share with you guys the big world of yoga, and not just like, putting your leg up like this and showing how flexible you are and just being like, oh, okay, get the other side even. Yes. So now we are doing our asana, but the asana part of yoga is really only 1/8 of yoga. And we have so much more to learn from yoga than just this asana part. Of course, we have the breath part, the pranayama, which is so important if you want to keep going and moving in the yoga practice, and you want to control and regulate your heart rate and your blood pressure. And the breath practices will also help you to enter altered states, which is also always very nice. But the thing is we can practice yoga on all these other levels. We have 8 parts of yoga. We have Ashtanga, the 8 limbs of yoga. And I'm not talking about Patabi Joyce's Ashtanga yoga, which was basically, copyrighted and turned into this business franchise What am I doing? This is a great question. What am I doing live on YouTube? And what am I talking about? So, if you missed the beginning of this and you just came in, I'm talking about how yoga is so much bigger than what we are being shown. We're being like basically imprisoned in the physical world for the sake of useful consumerism, because it's very, very useful for us to suffer. And it's very useful for us to be in ignorance. Yoga is defined as union. That is what yoga means. Yoga does not mean stretching, but like we can do all types of stretches. We can do the splits. We can do all kinds of like fun movements. We can do all these things, but when we do a lot of very flexible things in yoga, it puts people off. People are often, yes, they say, oh, I'm not flexible. I can't even touch my toes. Yes, you can. You can touch your toes. Bend your knees first, then touch your toes. You can do this and then start to straighten your legs a little bit. But I digress, because that is just a small part of yoga. The rest of yoga, it brings us to ecstasy. It brings us to samadhi. The final stage of yoga, all these 8 parts, is samadhi. But on the way to samadhi, we have to understand all these other parts of yoga. And the first part of yoga is actually called ahimsa. And ahimsa is non-violence, non-harming. And when we practice ahimsa, it's not necessarily about having a vegan diet. Of course, it's great to eat vegan. It's clean. It will keep your skin glowing. It will help you not age as rapidly. It will help you cleanse out your lymph and all your organs and your systems and all of this stuff. But I digress, because ahimsa is also how you are talking to people. If you are insulting people and you're swearing them out and you're telling them things that make them feel bad about themselves, if you're making people sad or you're just hurting their feelings by the way you're talking to them, that's not ahimsa. If you're punching people, of course that's not ahimsa. If you're kicking people, we want to be able to help support. So a really important part of yoga is that we become supportive entities. And a lot of us are being trained by a lot of pop culture and a lot of catchphrase programming to give no fucks, and that's really actually not really very helpful. It's like, how do you just give no fucks in a world that wants your fucks? Anyway, so I am going to be getting tied up today in Times Square. Or not Times Square, sorry, in Union Square here in Manhattan, in New York. So what does that have to do with yoga? Well, yoga is a creative practice, actually. It's a pursuit of aligning yourself with creative source energy. And you have to address the creative powers within yourself first. And a lot of the sexual energy in our second chakra, our sacral chakra, known as Svadhisthana, is often pulled upon in this world in order to get us to be good consumers, since the urge to orgasm, to have a sexual experience, to experience something affectionate, romantic, and really welcoming and helping you feel like somebody else loves you and wants you. This is a very big deal in the sacral chakra area. But the thing is we don't really love with our sacral chakra. It is a creative source area. It's very hot energy here. And we also have the downward apana force. It's known as a vayu, apana vayu. It's this downward energy that's always like wanting to dump down our legs. It's the energy of elimination. And so we should actually, like the salmon, like when they are spawning, we should be swimming upstream. We should be working on building our strength by resisting that downward current and moving the energy up. So we're going to actually have a shamanic bondage workshop tonight here in Manhattan, and you can learn about it more through you can go to my website, libglobal.org, libglobal.org, and you can check out some of the things that are being offered for workshops. And also, tomorrow night, I'm going to do a workshop that is for dancing yoga. So it has nothing to do with how flexible you are. You can practice yoga through meditation as well. A lot of people don't understand this, but the second to the last limb of yoga is called dhyana, or dhyan. In dhyan, this is meditative absorption. So this is where yoga is trying to bring us into a state of blissful, happy, peaceful, meditative absorption. And so in order to experience that, it's important that we work out our psychology. And the second part of yoga is satya, truthfulness. So, and these are also, by the way, yamas. So this is all like in the first limb of yoga. So we have yamas, we have niyamas, and then we have asana, then we have pranayama. There are so many aspects to yoga that are being left on the wayside in favor of the impressive asana practices that we see, which are often really calisthenics and gymnastics. This is acrobatics, basically things that get you ready for Olympic, kind of gymnastic competition or the circus, depending on where you want to go with your flexibility. So when we go through the route of industry standard yoga, the highest accomplishment of that yoga is getting into the circus and, getting like a lot of glory and fame for your performance, which really is not where yoga is supposed to be taking us. Yoga should not be taking us to the circus, y'all. It should not. It should actually be taking us to heaven within ourselves, where we are feeling happy, we are feeling content, we are feeling powerful and unfuckwithable. So thank you for subscribing, by the way, Jonathan Riviera. I really appreciate your subscriptions, and if you would join, and I would love to come back as much as possible with you guys and talk to you about the deep aspects of yoga. So I'm gonna do a little brief demonstration now of what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. If you wanna see me get tied up, meet me in Union Square today in a couple hours. I will be there with the facilitator of this Kundalini Rising bondage kind of workshop happening tonight, also in Union Square, and you can learn more about it if you come to Union Square, or you can also look up on Eventbrite. I'm pretty sure you can find it if you look up Kundalini Rising Bondage. I'm pretty sure that's going to help you find it because it's a very unique offering. I don't know, I've never heard of anybody offering bondage plus Kundalini Rising kind of education. So he had me get involved with this project because I am a Kundalini Reiki practitioner. I am a grandmaster of this energy work, this subtle healing energy practice, which is really lovely. I am able to send this energy anywhere in the world, and I can teach anybody anywhere in the world as well if you would like to learn how to work with this wonderful electrical energy it's very subtle, but it goes everywhere, anywhere. It is going through the quantum field, and when you receive an attunement, it's not even in the present time, it's in the future. So you need to make an appointment with the energy through me. I act like as the secretary for this wonderful healing energy, which will help guide you into the final process of yoga, samadhi. So you can go through pure energy work to practice yoga as well. It is not always required for you to practice asana for you to be enjoying yoga, because yoga is what makes us complete, and it is not the asanas which make us complete. But if you look at the whole of the offering of yoga as what has been outlined in Patanjali's sutras, you can learn how to be perfect. Yes, perfect through yoga. Yoga is our practice of self-perfection. And I know some of you guys were like, nobody's perfect. You know, like we have that whole phrase, you know, we've got it all down. Everyone knows nobody's perfect, you know, but the thing is, you can try, and you can do it lovingly, and you can work on yourself all the time and do it without any shame, and just be a loving and forgiving witness to your own actions, where all of the ultimate truth is going to be found. All the ultimate truth is found within you, because everything you do or say, as the police say, can and will be held against you. Well, it can also be used for your benefit. It does not need to be held against you. So anyway, I'm going to start. I almost said start. I'm going to start with sharing some of this lovely practice that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I'm just going to stand back a little bit. And so we're going to start by shaking our right arm. We're going to start with the left or right, whichever you want, but I'm just doing it with the right today. You need to breathe into that arm. And then exhale and let it out. So you're just really kind of just shaking everything out. And then you will start shaking your right leg. Just shaking from the toes to the hips and breathing into the leg. And then exhale it out. Shake, shake, shake. And then you're going to shake your left arm. Just shaking everything out of the arm, and you're sending it into the earth. Because it's always nice to just let go of holding patterns. And we have holding patterns of tension in our body that create pain, and they hold anxiety, and they hold emotional patterns that are not always necessarily beneficial for us. Inhale into the arm. Exhale and send everything just out. And then we're going to shake our left leg. Shake from toes to hip. And breathe into it. Inhaling. Exhaling everything out. And then let that go. And then we're just going to start shaking our whole body. And breathe in. Breathe out through your mouth. Make a sound with your voice. And as you're shaking here, I want you to let out an ugly sound with your voice. You can bring your arms up for this one. Let out just a roar or a growl. Anything that you feel unpleasant in your body and you want to release it, see if you can release that in the form of an open mouth sound. Ready? Inhaling and exhaling. Yeah? Let your arms down and try it again. Inhale. Just letting all these feelings out. And so in the workshop that I'm going to be teaching, we will be doing this shaking movement. And we will keep our feet on the ground. This is really important to keep your feet grounded during the beginning part of the ecstatic yoga practice that I'm going to share. So I call it a tantric trance dance as well. It's very much involved with, it's called Dzogchen yoga, or also known as Ati yoga, but it's kind of been taken over by a whole like costume ritual kind of thing, and it's really very rigid. This is a lot more liberating and free and creative and playful. So there's not like a kind of there's not like a really strict structure to it. Other than that, we want to just move like this for a little bit and shake. So as you move like this, it's always nice to do this to some good music. So we will have some music. I just wanted to avoid any kind of muting or censorship on this platform if I play any kind of music that is on a label or anything like that. I don't want to mess with copyrights. So just shaking and bouncing at the knees a little bit like this. It's like really just letting your arms kind of just flow and flop a little bit as you're letting everything drop out of your body. So in doing this, we keep our feet grounded because it is a low adrenaline practice. So keeping the adrenaline low is a big part of Ayurveda, which is also connected to yoga. Ayurveda is life wisdom healing. It's healing with the power of nature. And so since we are an embodiment of the power of nature that apparently we have forgotten, we are a bridge between heaven and earth. And we are powerful, divine instruments and vehicles and machines. Our bodies are, at least, but we are essentially energy in a body. No matter what gender you want to identify as, no matter what you want to identify as, we are energy in a body. We are Shiva and Shakti. So this shaking practice and dance practice, meditation and voice, there's all the things that we do. We focus on tuning into our chakras. We focus on tuning the divine instrument that we are. So shaking like this, minimizing adrenaline. We minimize adrenaline by keeping our feet on the ground because every time you lift your leg, it requires your psoas muscle, which goes from your hip, from your groin rather, to the bottom floating rib. It's the longest muscle in your body, actually. It requires it to shorten. And in order for that muscle to shorten and to lift your leg, your adrenals right back here, they will need to release some adrenaline every time you lift your legs. So you want to just keep your feet grounded as you shake and breathing nice and deep. So we will be doing this for a whole entire 15 minutes in my workshop until you actually reach quite an ecstatic trance state just from all this shaking. You gotta go deep though in this. This is not about looking around the room and comparing yourself to other people or, trying to come up with any kind of fancy dance move in this. Because we're letting ourselves just release a lot of the shock that we have experienced in our lives. We are basically, these body vehicles are shock absorbers effectively. We receive all types of shocks, all types of jolts and traumas in our bodies. And this is a way for us to just help us reset our nervous system, our limbic system, our parasympathetic nervous system. Even our vagus nerve gets a bit of a nice reset in this experience. And as you keep on shaking like this, you just can close your eyes and just go deep into this lovely movement where you are just letting everything go. So after so much shaking, we eventually get into moving, and we can start moving however we want. We can do any kind of movement we want. I emphasize moving the hips as much as possible because moving your pelvis is a very happy thing. There's a lot of energy that gets stuck in our hips. We get a lot of grief stuck in our hips, shame stuck in our hips. We want to get it all out. So it's really good to kind of just work it and just kind of like swirl around, undulate, and just get your groove on. And we're going to be dancing for a whole other 15 minutes. So in this workshop, we will emphasize a lot of movement and a lot of just play. And we'll just be playing around the room. This is the same place where the workshop will be happening, by the way. So we'll just be playing, dancing around. And after a little while of us dancing, we come to the ground and we have a nice little sit. So we will take our time to just center ourselves and just let the feelings that all that delicious movement brought into us. We'll feel maybe a little buzzed. We'll feel a nice tingle. And you just want to take a while to just do some inventory of how all of that made you feel today or tomorrow night. We'll see how it makes you feel. I'd be happy to take the time in the future to do an entire version of this, properly timed, and with music. I just have to find the right music to use on YouTube that won't get me banned or whatever the heck. I don't know. I don't understand all of the standards sometimes. It's just crazy, the copyright. But anyway, you just sit here quietly. Obviously, I'm talking because this is a bit of a demo really quick. And then after we sit here for a while, we will begin to sound through our chakras. So using your throat chakra effectively is a really great way to tune into your creative energy as well. So the throat chakra is considered to be a creative center just as much as our pelvic chakra is, just as much as our sacral chakra is, the second svadhisthana. This one is called Vishuddha, the throat chakra, and it's responsible for our creation of words, sounds, stories, truth, lies. You know, this is how we express. So the expression is a creative force. Art is a creative force. We are a work of art ourselves, and we create art as well. You know, so this is where yoga comes in. This is where deity creation comes in. Yantra creation comes in. Mandala creation comes in. So when we tune into our chakras, we are doing just an open mouth toning. We are not doing, say, like the bij mantras or the seed syllables of the chakras. I will share with you the seed syllables of the chakras in the future. I'm happy to do that as well. But for this one, we're going through our scales. So we're going to start with the lowest comfortable tone possible for the root chakra. And we're going to just go up. And as you go through your chakras, you can touch each part if you'd like. So touching the root chakra is a little tricky because you have to kind of come right down here. It seems a little inappropriate, but I'm going to do it anyway. So touch the perineum. And you can also touch your legs because your legs are part of that root aspect. Everything from the perineum down is going to be connecting to the root chakra. So you need to inhale. And then the second chakra. And then the solar plexus chakra. And then the heart chakra. And then the throat chakra. And then the third eye. And then your crown. Ah, ah, ah. And then you go from the crown back down. Ah, ah, ah. And then third eye. Ah, ah, ah. And then throat. I need water actually. My voice is like cracking. My throat is dry. But a lot of people are maybe not watching, but I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. The throat. Ah, ah, ah. And then the heart. Ah, ah, ah. Then your solar plexus. Ah, ah, ah. And then your sacral chakra. Ah, ah, ah. And then the root chakra. Ah, ah, ah. So just focusing in on that energy. And then when we're all finished, just lay down and let out a neutral sound, kind of like we did at the beginning. Maybe more of a sigh this time though. Ah. And that's basically what we'll be doing, but a lot slower, a lot more concentrated, a lot more focused. And it will be pretty nice. Yeah. And anyway, thank you guys for joining. And I hope that you can come to my workshop. You can feel free to email me. My email is esotericyoga@protonmail.com. If you can remember that, how to spell it. esotericyoga@protonmail. If you have any questions, you can also comment below and get engaged with whatever it is that you would like to see in my content. If you want to learn any other things from yoga, I've been doing yoga since I was 11 years old, but I thought I was inventing something before then. I just didn't know that I was doing yoga. I was put in gymnastics when I was 6 years old, and then I had to get out because my mother fell pregnant with my sister, and it was a complicated pregnancy, so I was not able to go through all of my gymnastics training. So I decided I would just move my own body and just keep stretching. And I thought I was coming up with my own system to help people be flexible and strong and healthy and happy and all that. And then I found, like the very next year after I was thinking, oh, I'm making something up, I discovered yoga on television. And so I was like, oh, I have something to learn. It's a whole thing already. So I will learn from what's already been here. And that's what I've been doing for a very long time. And I'm happy to share with you my knowledge, my experience, and the art of yoga. I consider myself to be a yoga artist. And I'm happy to demonstrate to you what yoga arts are through this channel. And I'm really grateful that he came in to listen to my live. Thank you so much for joining me. And I also do have a fundraiser right now on GoFundMe. And I will put the link somewhere. I might have to put it in my next video. I'm not sure if I can put links in live. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I have a GoFundMe because I need a root canal, I think. I need some kind of dental procedure, which I can't quite afford at this time. And it's kind of a little bit not fun. But it's all right. If you cannot donate, I understand. Just keep coming in, and I'm happy to share everything that I know for free on this channel. I don't think that knowledge should be costing us a lot of money to gain, and we definitely deserve to remember our power. Our power does not have anything to do with how much money we have or how much resources that we control or who we control. So I would love to share with you guys the essence of true power, because we have been very perplexed deliberately in society and driven to suffer more than we really should. Our suffering is really not that necessary. It seems fundamental, but it doesn't have to be thrust upon us, forced upon us, like imposed upon us. Like, we have our own problems to work out. Everybody does. It's unfair for the people who control the resources in this world to press us and try to make us worse off than them in order for them to have their so-called power, which is a false construct. And this is basically where the whole matrix comes in. It is based on a false power construct that causes us stress and anxiety and worry and fear and all of the emotions that we don't want. Basically, they are being imposed upon us in very tricky and subtle ways. And I would like to go over next time, my next video, I'll talk about the 5 sufferings, because it's really important that we understand our human nature and we can begin to detect when these aspects of our human suffering are being fed to us as if they are something that is good, fun, or gratifying, when actually it comes with quite a hefty cost. So thank you guys for joining me, and thank you, Illuminate, for wishing wellness onto me. I very much appreciate all of your support. Thank you guys, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Once again, please subscribe, and thank you. Bye. Namaste.